Hello and welcome to Turnbuckle TV. I'm your host Antoine Archie along with my co-host, the Hall of Famer himself, Mickey Thomas. Mickey, welcome again.
Well, thank you. I'm very delighted to be here.
You know, after two times being on the show, you're pretty much a permanent fixture.
Well, that's all right. My parking spot's great. I love being at the Turnbuckle TV. The PWA studios treated me good.
Speaking about parking spots, Mickey, I didn't notice that my car was moved at the last show at Blood, Sweat, and Tears outside Lanphier High School. And it just wouldn't move unless I was in there. And I was not in my car.
Well, you took my spot. I had to call Shaner's Towing.
Oh, so that's what happened. That's why my car was moved several feet away.
Well, you know, Shaner's Towing is a good sponsor of Pinfall Wrestling Association. So, you know, I didn't want them to feel left out of the show, so I called them.
Really? Well, thanks, Mickey.
Well, you got the best spot in the house now. They gave me a ride to your car. That's like having valet parking.
Come on. They are a sponsor. And it's a good thing PWA does have them.
That's right.
And apparently you used them too.
For everybody that gets in my spot.
The other good sponsors that we have are Yanni's Euros.
Best Euros in town.
Mm-hmm.
Shaner's Tire.
Order to Eat.
Riverton's Party Store.
And we have two new sponsors here in PWA. And one of them...
Penn Station East Coast Subs.
I heard they have pretty good subs.
You never had their subs?
I'm going to make my way there.
Oh, well, you need to chum up to Tom Arson so you can go out on a luncheon date too.
Oh, you had a lunch with Tom Arson, I take it.
Are you kidding? He won the title. We went to Penn Station.
Oh. Well, me, Smash, and Flash, we went to Guitars and Cadillacs, who's another sponsor for PWA.
Smash and Flash.
Our current tag team champions.
Well, speaking of Smash and Flash and current tag, talk about Lanphier High School.
Oh, man.
January 24th. That was an awesome night.
You know, we talked about it for weeks coming up to this show, and it lived to be what it was.
Lanphier High School, 4 decades legacy of wrestling in the capital city. And we brought it back, and it was a terrific show. People, they loved it. I had fun. I was excited. Were you excited?
Oh, yes. It was great just to get the crowd going, you know.
The atmosphere was wonderful.
It was.
It was an adrenaline rush being back at Lanphier, seeing everything.
So much history at Lanphier High School. You look around the Lanphier gym, you see a lot of history. And we were making history having our first PWA show right there on January 24th.
Oh, yeah. First show for 2015 was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Can't say no more than that. But the show itself, I know right in the beginning it opened up, we had the 10-man battle royal.
Yes.
So that 2 people could be named #1 contenders for the tag team championships. And of course, Phage and 24-karat Jimmy Carrot came out on top.
Yeah, odd team right there. Phage, and I'd never picture those two teaming up, but in that situation,
they match.
And they had to figure things out quickly because later on that night they got that tag team title shot, which we'll get to in a minute. But
we'll get to that. But there was a lot of great PWA stars in that battle royal. So I mean, it was game for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But not to mention there was 2 people not in that battle royal that I'm actually kind of disappointed in. But I'll get to that later.
Okay, I don't know who that would be, but
it's the Decons. But
oh, jeez.
But then we had Nelson Six. That's a young rising PWA star. You know, the guy with the mohawk.
Yeah.
He's an awesome guy. You know, I talked to him in the back before the show. Yeah.
Well, he had to take on Casey Jackson, who I kind of like Casey Jackson. Me and him have something in common.
Bald?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And speaking about bald, I noticed you got a haircut.
Well, I thought I'm on Turnbuckle TV now. I wanted to.
Oh, no.
I wanted to look more like the voice of PWA.
Well, hold on, buddy. There's only one true voice and only one true bald guy that can do it right.
I know. I still haven't got that turtle wax thing figured out, but I'll get it.
I don't use turtle wax.
That's awfully shiny up there. But did you see you at Lanphier? We were gleaming in the middle. You were gleaming. About blinded me.
Oh, let's move on.
All right. But Casey Jackson is a veteran. I've worked with Casey Jackson a decade ago, so I know Casey Jackson's been around. So probably wasn't the best person in the world for Nelson Six to pick. Because Casey, just when you don't ever underestimate him, he surprised you at the last minute. I know from experience.
And Nelson Six, he's kind of, he's still kind of new to the game. Casey Jackson being a big-time veteran, it was kind of interesting to see, the rookie against the veteran.
Oh yeah.
But it was a good match nonetheless.
It was. And then following that, you had the returning star, the returning Bradley Stevens III.
Yeah.
It's another veteran, who's been around for eons. And he took on the young thriller, Derek Moss.
Yeah, he did.
Derek Moss was, all been out of shape because he says that Bradley Stevens cost him a couple matches or whatever. But, to each his own. That's his opinion. But the fact remains is Bradley Stevens III beat the young thriller.
Yeah, I understand that, but there might have been a little something going on in that match, if I'm not mistaken.
What are you talking about?
I believe there was a little cheating going on.
Oh, are you with this again?
Well, if you clearly see, I believe Bradley Stevens put his feet on the ropes to win that match.
I didn't see that.
No, of course you wouldn't.
I was standing right out there. I didn't see it.
You know how to be blind sometimes, Mickey.
It's your head. I didn't see that part, but the fact remains is, look at the record books. Bradley Stevens III beat the young thriller, Derek Moss.
Unfortunately, that's what it's going to say in the record books.
Well, unfortunately, biased. I said it last week, I'm saying it again, you're biased. Okay, what about this? Moving on to something that you have to admit was the most phenomenal thing I've seen in a long time. Zero Hype Guy Smith. Okay? He comes out and he talks about changes. Things have got to change for Zero Hype. He's going to focus more on Zero Hype Guy Smith. Mm-hmm. He says he's the best in Central Illinois. And I have to say, I probably would agree with that. But there's a little problem. A problem that, came right out from the locker room. The returning, after 9 months being away, Blake Still.
Yeah, the Apex Blake Still, and what a match that was between those two. Mickey.
Oh, that was the crowd that I've never heard him like that before. That was amazing.
It was.
Them two are two guys that have put their heart and soul into the wrestling business, and me as a former competitor, I can say that them two definitely have shed blood, sweat, and tears to be where they're at the top of the wrestling game. Them two together in a match, wow. That's all you can say.
The unfortunate part is it came down to running out of time.
We were getting yelled at by the bosses because the 15-minute time limit passed.
Right, and then the match pretty much came to...
But the PWA Board of Directors did allow 5 extra minutes.
Yes, they did allow 5 extra minutes.
But man, that thing could have went on another half an hour.
Yeah, it wasn't enough. 5 extra minutes was not enough for those two.
No.
And then after the next extra 5 minutes, well, then a decision had to be made.
And it came to a draw. So as of now, we still do not really have a determination of who is the best in Central Illinois. But we have next month.
I was just going to say that I think next month we are going to find out.
And the PWA Board of Directors said, because of that match, that coming up February 28th at Saturday Night Carnage, we're going to see the champion, Spotlight Spencer Powers, in a triple threat. Blake Steele, Zero Hype Guy Smith, Spotlight Spencer Powers.
Oh my goodness.
For the PWA Heavyweight Championship.
I don't know if you can get any better than that.
Oh, you can.
I mean, Blake Steele, Guy Smith, and Spotlight Spencer.
Going to be one heck of a match.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the match between Blake Steele and Guy Smith.
I was excited. I got goosebumps.
It was a great match, but imagine now Spotlight Spencer Powers in the middle of that.
Yeah.
You never know what's going to happen, and it's for the PWA Heavyweight Championship. So something's on the line here. I mean,
well, my prediction: Spotlight Spencer Powers.
Ooh, I mean, it's really anybody's game, but you got to realize Spotlight's in a disadvantage here. He does not have to be pinned to lose that title next month at Saturday Night Carnage. It's a triple threat.
True.
I mean, if Guy Smith or Blake Steele is pinned, Spotlight loses the title.
Well, that is the unfortunate reality of a triple threat match. But I do believe that Spotlight Spencer Powers has proved himself to be a worthy PWA heavyweight champion, so I think he can pull it off.
Well, I'm going to have to really throw my prediction towards Zero Hype. I mean, he has been wanting to get his hands on Spotlight for a while now.
That's because Spotlight keeps beating him.
And he wants to get his title back. And I think Zero Hype will get that title back. No matter who's in his way, Blake Steele or even Spotlight himself.
What if Blake Steele wins?
Well, I don't know. I mean, that's an option. It could happen. Blake Steele could win this. And we both could be wrong.
Well, either way, no matter who the winner is, that is going to be one match. I know I'm going to be glued to my chair.
Oh, yeah. You don't want to miss it. And where's it going to be at?
Lanphier High School.
Of course.
February 28th. Saturday Night Carnage.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. That match right there.
Because myself, I was so disappointed that the time limit went up. I mean, the PWA board, they let it go on for 5 more minutes, but that was like a tease.
But really, what it was the PWA family that wanted that 5 more minutes.
Oh, those
Did you hear
people
those
were
fans?
yelling, man.
Yeah, 5 more minutes. They kept saying it, 5 more minutes.
And the board of directors sent us out there to tell them to stop.
Right.
I think I got popcorn in my head.
I hope you did.
After that match, we had Disrespecticons against the All-American Brent Dunn. He's a very big guy, by the way. Mm-hmm. And Elijah Rahim. Decons won.
Yes.
And like I said at the beginning of the show, the Disrespecticons, Cash and Magnus, were not in the 10-man Battle Royal for the #1 contendership to the Tag Team Championships.
Don't you think those guys have had enough opportunities? I mean,
I wrote a letter.
How many times do you want Smash and Flash to beat these guys?
What?
Did your cat get your tongue?
I wrote a letter to the PWA Board of Directors.
About what?
That they were not in the 10-man Battle Royal.
Oh, for crying out loud. Mickey, there's other tag teams that can have an opportunity besides the Disrespecticons.
Oh, there's a lot of tag teams out there. But this just proved that the Disrespecticons can beat them.
They didn't beat Smash
The
and Flash.
Disrespecticons are being disrespected.
Yeah, right. They disrespect everybody else.
What are you talking about? Is that because they made that joke about your head in the locker room?
It probably is.
Well, I'll tell you what. Did you know I was out sick last week? Yeah, Smash and Flash sent me a nice get well soon gift. It was a roll of toilet paper. It said get well soon, Smash and Flash.
That was nice of them. Those are good guys.
Do you want to know what happened to the other rolls of toilet paper they had? My whole parking spot out front was just littered. Those are your champions there. And my champions were at Blood, Sweat, and Tears, Lanphier High School, and they still won, even though they were thrown back away from the contendership to the Tag Team Championship. It was That's just ridiculous.
Well, actually, my team, they were at Lanphier High School, and they won their tag team title match against Phage and Jimmy Carrot.
Oh.
Phage and Jimmy Carrot were the two that won from the Battle Royal, and they went on to face Smash and Flash. Smash and Flash were victorious.
I bet they cheated.
Did you watch the match?
Actually, no.
Of course.
I was calling Shaner's towing. I had a problem out front.
Oh, really?
But Smash and Flash did win. They did retain the tag team championship. So your favorite team can now go around loading more at the PWA office. Toilet paper in my office again.
Well, you have nothing to be ashamed about because your friend, your boy, the one you went on lunch with, he won too.
You right, he did. That's right.
But, I mean, it wasn't all him either.
What are you talking about?
Oh, you seen at the end of that match. Phage.
Yeah, I saw the 1, 2, 3. Ask senior official Tim Gibbons, he'll tell you. 1, 2, 3, boom, gone. He won.
That's because he was taken out of the ring by Bradley Stevens. Bradley Stevens was showing him something, doing something that had nothing pertaining to that match that was in the ring.
How do you know?
I've seen the whole thing. And Phage came down there.
What? I don't know what you were watching.
I was watching what everybody else was watching at Lanphier High School. Mississippi Madman gets screwed once again by Phage.
What do you... that's ridiculous. That's total nonsense. Number 1, Tom Arson, our Pinfall Wrestling Association regional champion, won fair and square. The 1, 2, 3 was counted. He walked away with the championship.
Well, since this
Can't
happened...
you just be congratulatory and say, congratulations, hey, number 1, Tom Arson.
Well, since this happened, now the question is, who's next for Tom Arson? I mean, obviously, Madman has other things to
Well, he's
deal
beat
with.
everybody else. I mean,
Tom Arson?
yeah. Give him anybody. He can take them all on, I bet you.
Yeah, with the help of somebody else, I'm sure.
No.
But really, who's next? Who's the number 1 contender for that regional title?
Well, there's probably a lot of guys that think they can face Tom Arson and win, but I'm still going to have to go with Tom Arson. Who, in your opinion, would be at the caliber of Tom Arson to be the next regional champion?
Well, since Mississippi Madman's a little busy, what about his tag team partner, Casey Jackson? He had a successful victory over Nelson Six.
I like Casey Jackson, but I'm still going to have to go with Tom Arson there. See, Tom Arson is a veteran, too. He's been around a long time. A lot of experience up here.
Yes, he has. I won't take that away from him.
I think it would be a good match. Casey Jackson, Tom Arson. It'd be a good match. Tom Arson will win.
And speaking about good matches, what about Mississippi Madman against Phage?
Monster versus monster.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to see that myself.
Well, those two...
You can't deny the fact when, and I know because I was in the locker room and, I was getting myself fixed up right before the show. Madman came in, and that guy has a presence.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what else to say. It's a presence. When he comes through, you get out of the way.
That's right.
And believe me, I did, because I don't know what he thinks of me too much, but he had that look on his face, and he has this growl.
Yeah.
You ever heard that?
I have.
He comes out to the ring with that growl.
You wanna make the noise?
Yee, yee, yee. You hear that? That scares the crap out of me.
I didn't know you had that in you.
I had it in me because I ran all the way to the other side of the locker room. He came in. Whew.
What was that noise again?
Now, anyway, he came through. I got out of the way. But that guy is 6'7". You believe that?
450 pounds.
Yeah.
Of pure Mississippi madness.
Yeah, raging Cajun.
That's right.
And I got on the next thing smoking and went on the other side of the room. But he is a very big guy. So to see him, and everybody's got to say they respect the Madman. no matter what you think of him, you gotta respect the guy. He's been around forever. Going against Phage. So that Phage, he's like, what do they call him? The nightmare of Halloween Town.
I have not.
Oh, if he's there, I ain't going.
I wouldn't be either.
Yeah, he wanted to set up an interview with me. Did you hear about that?
No, I didn't.
They sent it to my office at the PWA building,
You have an office?
Yeah, I have to talk to you about that too, by the way, because your little secretary that hangs out front, I said, I want to know where the Hall of Fame, Mickey Thomas's office is. She said, down the hall, first door on the left. Do you know what that is? It's the lavatory.
Oh.
It's the bathroom.
I
And guess what? It was out of toilet paper. You want to know what happened to all the toilet paper? Smash and Flash done papered my car in my Hall of Fame spot.
Well, Mickey, you're going to have to worry about that at another time. I'm sorry. But I tell you what you do want to worry about is where our next show's going to be. Where's our next show going to be?
Lanphier High School.
And when's that show going to be?
February 28th.
Saturday Night Carnage. You don't want to miss that show.
And ironically, it's a Saturday night.
Yes, it is. And where can people get information about the show?
Oh, go to the Facebook page. Facebook.com/PWA Springfield.
And don't forget to like us on Facebook.
I finally remembered to do that, by the way.
Good. I'm glad you figured that out.
Yeah. But we also got some charities that we're working with now. PWA, Pinfall Wrestling Association, is actually working with the community.
Yes.
We got the, you can go to Facebook.com, ADA Changes. You support that. Great cause. And now PWA is working with the local Springfield, Illinois Ansar Shriners.
Yes.
Helping to raise money for the Children's Hospital in St. Louis.
Right. It's a great cause.
Oh yeah,
it is. Yeah, I'm glad we came aboard to help out the Ansar Shriners.
And so everybody can see our beautiful bald heads, they can go to the YouTube page. You go to YouTube.com, Pinfall Wrestling Association.
Right. That's right.
And if your head doesn't blare them out.
And don't forget about our sponsors. PWA has great sponsors like Yanni's Heroes,
Shaner's Tire,
Shaner's Towing as well,
Border to Eat,
Riverton Party Store,
and the Penn Station East Coast Subs.
Yeah, it's one of the newest sponsors for PWA.
Me and Tom Arson love it.
I'm sure you had a great lunch. But me, Smash and Flash, we had a great time at Old Guitars and Cadillacs.
I didn't think you liked country music.
Well, with those guys, it was a lot of fun.
I bet.
They're also one of the sponsors for PWA.
You own a cowboy hat?
I do not.
You need something to hide that glare.
Well, Mickey, it was a good show. I'm glad to have you aboard. Like I said, I think you're a permanent fixture.
Glad you got to see me.
And I'll also see you on February 28th at Lanphier High School.
I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Oh, I wouldn't either.
February 28th, Lanphier High School, Saturday Night Carnage. Don't miss it.
We'll see you there.